Hey everybody, this is Fred Richani of TSC News right here on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. We have part 2 of our feature on New York Comic Con 2019. We're going to throw it up to an interview we did with the hosts of Travel Channel's Ghost Nation. We're going to chat with our old friend Julian Cannon, and we're going to have the second half of the Headlocked Comic panel. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this special look at NYCC. I have right here on the line, not one, not two, but 3 very special guests coming off of a very successful Comic-Con weekend. We're talking to Jason Hawes, Steve Gonsalves, and Dave Tango of Ghost Nation on the Travel Channel, airing every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gentlemen, I know you just got through a busy, a fun New York Comic-Con. You got some more events coming up. How was your experience?
Nice to be able to meet the fans, and without the fans are the ones that make the show a success. So, and we owe it all to them. We hear their stories and thoughts on things that we've done over the years. These are my people. I come from the convention world. I love it. So I'm excited to be with them and having fun with them about all things nerdy and glorious.
So I'm curious because you guys have been around for a long time, been successful in the space as hosts. You've also, of course, done your own thing with paranormal investigations and being big celebrities in that particular space. How does Ghost Nation differ from your past shows?
Actually, us getting back to basics, helping out families who are truly scared of what's going on in their home. And you'll see, even on the first episode, we're out helping out a veteran with PTSD who him and his family are staying in a Winnebago on the property because they're frightened of what's going on in the house. Wow. Our old show, we feel like we were only able to do a quick little investigation, but this, you're able to see it from the beginning to the end. There really hasn't been a format yet for a TV show of this genre, to go all the way to full resolution for our clients to the point where they're in tears when we leave because we've done so many things for them in terms of them being able to live and take back their house. And that means a lot. Other adventures have been tons of fun, but to me, I think, and to most of us here, this one is very personal. Ghost Nation is a very personal endeavor, and it's easy to call it a show, but I feel like that it may belittle it a little bit. It's very personal to us.
Was there anything on the show that surprised even you guys who have pretty much seen it all?
A lot of the newer equipment that we brought in and been able to utilize for investigations, I think, really helped us because I don't want it. This isn't just to push the new show, but I think we were able to catch some of the best activity we've ever caught on or off camera through our entire time being involved in the field.
I had something happen to me while we were filming the show that was incredible. It's never happened to me before in my life. And I got emotional. Steve was there with me. He got emotional. He cried. And then I cried.
You go through all kinds of different emotions, from anger to being startled to, as Dave just mentioned, to complete and total exhilaration.
So I know you guys didn't intend on becoming TV stars, but how have your lives changed since being on TV and now with this new show?
We never wanted, in the first place, we never wanted to be on TV. So I think that's important to know. It's just we existed long before paranormal TV, and we'll exist long after. We weren't casted to make a show. This is just them following what we do. I think every show, every team has something different that the audience can take from. There are other shows, even on Travel Channel, that are absolutely amazing, but people will take things from our show that maybe they didn't get to see on some of the others. Each one has a different technique. We're catching different evidence, but we're all a big family, and that's all that really matters.
This is our lives.
Absolutely.
Following what we do.
Yeah, it's been a great platform for us as investigators.
So how's your everyday lives changed as far as your business beyond television?
The paranormal has never been something that we've looked at, going out as a business, because we're not out charging people to investigate their homes. So, but of course, it's been great to see how large the field has become and how much we've really given to it and what has come off of that all. We're very, very, very fortunate and lucky. That'll never get lost on us because, it was a hobby. And unless you are one of the lucky, say, 10 people in the world that are able to do it on television and make a living of it, there really is no way to have a career in the paranormal field other than that. So we are very, very gracious to travel, to everybody that
has allowed us to take everybody on these adventures with us. And every day you'll see a new mystery unfold, and it's pretty awesome. It's been a great ride.
And we're only here because there are so many like-minded people in the world that really want to know, is there life after death? And that's just that primal feeling, and you want to know. That's why we're all here.
So what challenges did Ghost Nation present that you guys haven't seen before, without giving too much away of the show?
The gravity of it is one of them. The responsibility that we hold to help these teams. Because when we go into it, it's not just a show to us. We know we're making a show, but we are there to help that team, and furthermore, to make sure we get resolution for their client. And that is a weight on your shoulders. And if you don't take it as seriously as we do, you'll be in and out and not think much of it, the next week. But to us, it's very, very, very valuable to make sure we keep everything together and moving.
And there was somebody on an episode of Ghost Nation that he was ready to move out. And the landlord came, he flew in from Florida, and was trying to, beg him, please don't, stay around, and we helped him out.
What's the biggest misconception about your jobs?
Great question. Mm-hmm. I think one of them is that they think that, things will happen continuously and all the time. You're going to go into a place that's supposedly haunted, and everything's going to go crazy for you, but it takes a long, long, long time. We're able to disprove 80% of the claims that we run across.
Wow.
And it takes time. You have to build rapport with what's there and really get it to come out. So, Jay, do you think that there's anything else, Tango, more misconception?
No, I think people fear what they don't know, and I think that's the biggest thing. Of course, you watch Hollywood, and everything with a ghost is scary and traumatizing, and you might die, and that's not the fact. The fact is people need to look at it more as intriguing and more of a mystery, and getting in there and really just trying to figure out how these things are possible. Take the fear factor out of it.
What's the coolest thing about being TV stars? I know you don't consider yourselves TV stars, but what are some of the perks of the job?
For me, it would be the connection. I think, I travel around and do things or whatever, but even if I'm just, to give you a quick, for instance, just walking on a beach not too long ago, and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, love your show." But the kid they were with didn't say a word to me, looked at me kind of crazy. But then the mother came back and said, "Hey, just so you know, his father passed away 8 months ago, and this is the first time he's smiled since then." Those kind of things where you don't realize you're doing that for people is incredible.
Well, and also the fact that I think we've all been able to stay so grounded. We're a big family, and we love each other, and we always want to work with each other. Bottom line.
And we're able to get to some of the coolest places, because we've been doing this for so long. That's a perk for sure.
Who's the funniest out of all you guys?
That's hard to say. Jay's really good with one-liners. I'm pretty good with wit humor.
Yeah.
Tango's a good prankster.
So most of the time we team up on one another. Like Steve and I get Tango, or Tango and I get Steve. Very rarely does Steve and Dave ever work together on that. So no,
I think we all have to the chemistry between us.
Yeah,
it works. It kind of causes the conflict.
All right. Well, I guess the next question.
Seems legit. So all of you are obviously pretty funny in your own specific ways. But since you guys know each other so well, I'd love it if you could give me one random fact about each host.
Wow. That's a tough one. I can say that, believe this or not, Jay Hawes can play one song on the piano. And it's one song, and that song just happens to be "I Just Called to Say I Love You" by Stevie Wonder.
Damn,
Can you imagine that?
Good. Random fact about Steve. Well, not just scared, but he's scared of everything but ghosts. Literally scared of everything but ghosts. Steve was terrified of flies. Also the only person. Steve was terrified of flies. Also the only one of us who's ever actually flown a plane.
I have flown an airplane.
He's also a fantastic cook.
Tango used to be a clown, and his name was Dizzy Dave.
It was. And I'm going to scare the kids.
Dave, what was the number 13?
Oh, don't even.
Well, gentlemen, we really do appreciate the time. I know you got a busy promotional tour going on, but before we let you go, what's one thing you want fans to know about Ghost Nation and why they should check it out Friday nights on Travel Channel?
First off, skeptics, believers, everybody in between will be able to love the show because it's us back to basics. We're helping out families and just keeping it real. I think that's what it's always been about.
I'd say, we have not only, and I don't mean to say this in a bragging sort of way, but not only have we captured our best evidence during the filming of Ghost Nation, but I will go as far as to say maybe some of the best evidence that the field in general has ever caught. Honestly, 100%.
And just the fact that our main goal is to help the families, and leaving the case and just feeling good about ourselves, we're actually making a difference. Really means the world to all of us.
We ran into our old friend Julian Cannon, longtime attender, coverer of New York Comic Con. We're here at New York Comic Con 2019. You may have seen Julian's work on Alternative Minds. You may have seen him on our TSC shows. He is a frequent guest. Julian, how's Comic Con treating you this year?
8 years and I'm still young. It's treating me very good this year.
In your humble opinion, what's Comic Con doing better this year, and what's something they could do better next year?
Oh, that's if they come back next year. This year, I've seen a lot of good Captain Marvel cosplays. I've also got a good chance to see all the Sci-Fi Wire stuff. In fact, did you see all the screens out there in the front for Sci-Fi?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stuff there.
Yeah, good thing they put that there for people to actually watch the panels, because good thing that they're actually watching the stuff over there on the Sci-Fi, because before you had to either go to the panel itself or listen to the audio, which you did not want to do.
So what are some, before we let you go, because I know you got a lot of busy interviews and things like that, but what are a couple pro tips for anybody coming to Comic-Con for the first time?
Wear comfortable shoes, bring water, wear deodorant, take a shower. No, seriously though. Try to have as much good time as possible, because the Comic-Cons can go very quick. By the time it's Sunday, you're already feeling the depression.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, where can fans find you online?
On Twitter, Julian Excalibur. On Instagram, Julian Excalibur. And also on the Wrestling Court on Podomatic, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts are downloaded.
It's kind of cool, because I'm just the guy that makes this. Mike, I think my goal is to promote this book on both AEW and WWE on the same night. Just take a private plane and then be right there for the end of NXT. It'll be dramatic, right? And everyone aware there's a Wednesday night war going on now?
2 in the morning before I came here on, well, it was, I guess, 2 in the morning on Wednesday. Mike texted me because we were missing a scan of the page. Thank God I was still up and home, but I was still up until 45 minutes before I was supposed to sleep. I slept for 45 minutes. I was like, hey, do you have a high-risk scan for this? Because I know you're a little busy before, but both of us are up like it's a normal time of day to go to soda. No, I haven't been aware that there's
not many people that feel comfortable texting at 1 in the morning.
And then I got back to you fairly quickly.
Yes. Well, we've learned
okay, there's a war going on.
Yeah.
I haven't had TV on to watch any actual.
AEW is on Wednesday nights on TNT, NXT Wednesday nights on USA. It's an exciting time. Brought up that it is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan. It is not. RJ City informed me it is not an exciting time to be a wrestling fan's romantic partner.
I subjected my wife, my future wife, to so much wrestling. Actually, again, you get to be the honor. Like the first thing I showed my wife, and Heine, she was like, "Hey, you want to see this Hell in a Cell match?" And she stayed with me. And we've been married for 19 years.
Well, I think that's the moment that nearly every, what do you call non-wrestling fans? Like I call, like in the job I have, people.
Flat skins?
Oh, well, because I call people like, oh, you have a muggle job
Muggle.
because you're okay, muggle works for that too. I think that was the moment all muggles who were like, wrestling's fake.
Except
like,
that.
He said, okay, hurt them. Who watched
Dear God, let's do this.
It was like, hey, there's really, I don't see anything that he could have been landing. That's a table with like mechanical things on it. Oh my God, you know.
By the way, hot news, I have the audiences for last night's shows. Anybody want to know?
Yeah, let's see.
All right, here we go.
Roll, please.
WWE NXT, 891,000 viewers. All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, $1,400,000. Double what NXT did. The war has just begun, but ooh, I didn't predict that
Also,
one.
I do feel bad for all the wrestlers that are like competing for that. That's all the pressures for them.
A lot of pressure, man. I remember in the Monday Night Wars, you know, you turned in a couple, like 3 straight subpar 15-minute segments here where people were switching. You know, your job was, you know, your position, right? I mean, you almost lived and died on those things, you know? And sometimes you couldn't explain it, sometimes it was a strong segment, and you saw you had a good match, and sometimes there'd be something silly on the other end. And I know, because I was in This Is Your Life with The Rock. Like 21 years ago last week, and that turned into monster rating, the largest head-to-head rating. And who knows, WCW may have had an excellent match up against it, so you never know what people are going to go for. In the end, I think quality wins, and I'm hoping both companies do really well. It's a good time to be a wrestler as well. Yeah.
What's amazing about
local wrestler.
This Is Your Life thing is that they've tried to recreate it a couple of times, and they've had some of the worst. They've had some of the worst segments in the modern era, which is insane.
Because it was, you know, what? Poor Bailey.
You know what, let me ask you this, Mick, because there's a famous moment in the Monday Night Wrestling War when Raw was pre-taped. You were winning the WWF Championship. And Tony Schiavone, who I like, for the record, he was ordered to make the comment, Cactus Jack's going to win the title on the other show. That'll put butts in the seats. Well, it might not have put butts in the seats, but it turned a lot of dials that night. For those who were young, that's how we used to change the channel. I'm old, sorry. I don't know if you've ever been asked this question, so I'll divert us for a second. When you saw how many people moved from point A to point B, what did that do for you, given that for your entire career you had been so giving, helping others get over, and I mean, you legitimized Triple H, you legitimized Randy Orton, and you left a lot of body parts and blood and sweat and tears in so many places. And to me, that was kind of like one of those moments of vindication for you.
Yeah.
What was that like when you realized that they inadvertently assisted you in letting you see how much the fans really love you?
Yeah, first of all, it wasn't just the words that Tony said, it was the noise he made afterward. That'll put butts in seats. Yeah. Like a yuck sound. You know? I was like disgusting. Like the whole idea of me winning the title was disgusting. So I did wait until I waited until the ratings came in, and then I left a voice message for Tony Schiavone. I was like, Tony, hey, it's Mick Foley. Just want you to know I heard what you said, and I didn't think it was necessary. And to tell you the truth, it's probably just going to hurt you guys. I worked really hard for that company for a long time. Okay, bye. And like an hour or two later, my wife goes, man, Tony Schiavone's on the phone. He sounds so sad. So it was not only a vindication, but to me, it changed the way people within the business felt about me, like almost overnight. You know, where I went. I mean, I'll say I was like a very respected journeyman. I was a journeyman with a push, but I don't think anyone thought of me as being in that, you know, that real elite group of people. And I think that rating changed things immediately. So if Tony's listening, and Eric Bischoff, thanks.
I wasn't, you know, I'll throw tomatoes or cabbage or lettuce at me. I wasn't a giant comic book fan. I didn't know much about it. Hell, I hardly read, you know, I barely get into it. The pictures are cool. Like, I remember like the Silver Surfer and Dr. Drew and all that stuff. Those dudes kick ass, you know. And then, you know, it turns out if you think about half the rest of the characters I have, if anybody knows anything, I was like called the Black Hearts. We had no face. It was a black spandex mask with no eyes, no mouth, no nothing. A white mask over it.
Did you see?
And then a black coat. And this was in like 1988, 89, I started doing this, you know. This is before anybody was doing any spooky stuff like that. Then I had another genius idea. I wanted to be a vampire, so I became the vampire warrior wrestling, you know. Which rolled over to Gangrel, which most people remember with, you know, coming up through the flames and everything else. So you would think that I was comic book driven, cross the war and stuff like that, but and I wasn't. But I do appreciate, you know, now I watch the movies. We didn't, you know, maybe if we had these Comic-Cons and cool stuff like this, hot chicks running around, and I probably would have focused more on or learned to read so I could understand what's going on, so I could be in that full circle. But as far as getting into wrestling though, I went to a show with my great uncle in Knoxville, Tennessee, and it wasn't called any wrestling. I think he said it was called an outlaw show. So I went. I was a kid, probably 8 years old or something, and they had all the matches through the night, and then they had a battle royal at the end of the night. So one of these matches was, I don't want to be politically wrong, but they were little dudes, little micro guys, little fellas, whatever. And then they wrestled each other, and they went on, and they had a battle royal at the end of the night. So I'm like, I see these guys come out, what the hell are they gonna do with all these guys? But it turns out they paired up with each other, got on each other, it's like, they're playing chicken and whatnot. And the one pulls a fork out, just starts gabbing, starts hitting everybody in the head with a fork. And this is cool, man. And they're just tossing everybody out. And I didn't kind of believe it a little bit. I was like, but that drew me to wrestling. And on that path, I went back home with South Florida boys, so it was like Florida Championship Wrestling from Florida, rewarded slowly. And as I came to age, I started wrestling when I was 17. So when I was like 15, this stuff, it was Barry Windham was just starting in there, and then Kevin Sullivan came in with this run. So like one of my favorites was the Purple Haze, Marky Lewin, and then so it's still driven with these bizarre characters and stuff. But that's how the wrestling rolled over for me, and wrestling since 17 has been.
But let me just, for the record, it was a micro wrestler with a fork.
They got on each other's shoulders, went out there and gasped and everything.
Who were they?
I can't remember. It had to be Jerry Jarrett's or it was Knoxville, Tennessee, right?
I'm gonna do a little track.
Actually, I think to take a kid to see something, you're consistently told, don't fight, don't hit your brothers with things, don't do anything. He's like, but I'm gonna take you to see two guys who poke each other with a fork and everyone else fights. He's like, I don't get this mixed message you're sending me, Dad.
There was something else that stood out that night too. There was a lady wearing a white outfit, all white outfit in the front row. And one of the villains went out over the top. He face planted his bloody head right into her crotch. And I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world. Wrestling was taboo, we were very protected. And even when I came in, I was married to a professional wrestler, rest in peace, Luna Vachon, and 18 years of weather, I used to try to rip out more people's eyes when she jingle, wrestling's vacant, I'll show you fake, you son of a bitch. This is my over table thing, did you see it? So she was a character. I look at my whole life, and it's like a dark, tragic comic novel, It's a cross of everything, but it's been a beautiful ride, and I'm still riding that roller coaster. I found some balance. I'm not such a horror story now, but I still do a little fanging and banging here. But without all you guys and fans of all different aspects, and comics coming in and keeping wrestling strong and reinforcing things and making things more even acceptable than they were before in society and everybody in the culture. It's just an amazing push with everything, and touch on the wrestling again. I'm so glad to see that there's more wrestling coming around and competition because it's good for everybody.
Amen to that.
Yeah, so we've talked about it a bunch of times, Jerry and I, and we never really got around to it, but we're working on it now, and I can't really tell you where it's going to come out from, but it's definitely going to come out. But we're going to do a story, a biopic about Jerry's sort of relationship with Andy Kaufman, and the interesting thing is, a lot of people just remember the pile driver, they remember the David Letterman thing, and then they think that was it. But Andy had like a 3-year run in Memphis, and there was all kinds of wacky stuff that went on, and there were all these different feuds, and they had a bunch of different matches and stuff. And I think it would be really fun just to sort of delve into some of that stuff, just because it was such an incredible feud and very legendary now, but just. I think Memphis as a territory was really kind of neat, and it doesn't really get necessarily the sort of love that it deserves for sort of doing a lot of things before anybody else did. And so we're going to sort of do Jerry Lawler versus Andy Kaufman sort of through the lens of Memphis and the territory, and it should be really cool. So that's going to come out from a pretty good sized publisher. So keep your eye out for that.
As they often say in pro wrestling, usually when the main event's on, especially in the 80s, we are running out of time. So I want to thank everybody for being here. We appreciate you coming and spending part of your day in New York Comic Con with us. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. I want to thank our esteemed panel, and hopefully in a year from now we'll be reconvening and talking some more about the success of Headlocked as it continues. But I want to thank Gangrel. I want to thank Thompson. I want to thank Michael Kingston, of course. And right here in New York City, I want to thank New York's own Mick Foley.
Presidential candidate Andrew Yang here at the jam-packed New York Comic Con 2018. Andrew, how's it going?
It's going great. It's such a blast to be here. I was a comic book nerd growing up, so I feel like I'm home.
Well, welcome home. Now, for those of you watching at home, you might be wondering, wait a minute. Presidential candidate, Comic-Con? Before we get to your story, what actually brings you to Comic-Con? Because it's not every day we get a presidential candidate here.
Well, my platform is all around the fact that we're automating away millions of American jobs, that Donald Trump became our president because we eliminated 4 million manufacturing jobs in the Midwest, and we're about to do the same thing to workers in retail, call centers, truck driving, and on and on. So I'm here at Comic-Con because the people here at Comic-Con understand the future better than most anyone, and they understand that we need to make big changes as an economy and a society. So my platform is that every American adult receives $1,000 a month free and clear, universal basic income, which I branded the Freedom Dividend. And I think that the people in Comic-Con understand what that would mean for Americans across the country.
And as far as your love for comics, gaming culture, when was that introduced to your life, and why has it stayed a part of your life even now as you go into politics?
Well, you know, I grew up in upstate New York, this geeky Asian kid, and I got Marvel Comics and those brown wrappers every week. My brother and I would pounce on them and fight over who gets to read them first. And Peter Parker was our patron saint because he was like that geeky kid who still got the girl and all this other stuff. So now I'm a parent myself. I've got 2 young boys, and it's fun getting them into the same things I was into.
And before we let you go, we've interviewed a number of creators here who have combined education with their love for comic books and their work. Would you like to see down the road maybe some more education in schools in the form of video games and comic books? Because obviously it's had a positive impact on a lot of people here.
You know, I think comic books in particular are a great medium to convey information. It's like really engaging and informative, and I think that would be a great innovation in many, many contexts. Our secondary education right now, it's so out of date. It's preparing people for this industrial economy that doesn't exist anymore. So we definitely need to innovate on many, many dimensions and try and make high school and secondary school much more relevant to people.